is one of footy's most famous September surnames. Great Uncle Morris won the Norm Smith Medal. Uncle Dean played in the 2001 Grand Final. Cyril a star with the Hawks, and he joins them with a goal.
3 words to describe the TIWI footballers.
Freakish.
Skillful.
Skillful. Fast.
Fun and excitement.
These were the first people here. 40,000 years, their history dates back.
This is the most participated sport per capita in Australia. So if you're talking football, you're talking TIWI out of anywhere else in Australia.
Hi guys, it's Jake Melksham here. We're up in the TIWI Islands doing some Next Gen Minis and Next Gen Elite Pathways stuff with the Next Gen Sports Academy, myself and Tom Bell Chambers. This is my first time in TIWI Islands. I've never been here before. This has been quite a different experience for me. The TIWI Islands is a super remote island off of the Northern Territory. We're only about 20 minutes from Darwin by air and 2 hours by boat on the ferry, but you feel like you could be in another country.
From the moment we stepped off the airplane, there were people greeting us and saying hello and wanting to get photos and pictures with us.
Get in there. Jump in the photo.
Jump in.
Catch that thing off her head.
The word had got out that me and Tom were in the town quite quickly, and that obviously gathered momentum for the clinics that we would run in the day, and also when we would train the local teams at night.
Good work, boys.
We talked about it when we were in Bathurst on day one, that we likened it to what it would be like to be a Hollywood A-lister in America somewhere, where you just can't move, you can't go anywhere. It's almost creates a little bit of anxiety amongst you, because there's just people everywhere all around you wanting a photo, and yeah, that's what it's been like everywhere we've gone. They've been super welcoming. Not that we're famous or, you know, A-listers or anything like that. It's just that they love football. I think that footy's all that they've got, and it's what they're good at as well, and that's what they're passionate about. When you're good at something, you're generally passionate about it. My name's Tom Bell Chambers. We're up here on the TIWI Islands with Next Gen Sports Academies. We've been up here for a week. We've been around 3 different communities, and we're introducing our minis program to the younger kids up here.
5. All right, we'll try this one. See how big this one is.
And we've also run some elite pathway stuff with the senior teams up here, so it's been a really positive week. A lot of the kids got a lot out of it, and I'm excited to have a chat with you guys about it.
Good job. Put this one on. Put your arms in. Arms in.
Arms in.
I think for Next Gen, we really want to target the younger, the youth, the population up here. There's a lot of kids up here that obviously football means the world to them. So for us, it's about putting a structure and putting a pathway in place for these younger kids that, you know, they get to showcase their talent from a younger age.
Are you excited for this activity? Tom?
Which they probably don't have at the moment. They don't have that structure up here. So for us, it's providing that opportunity for some of the most talented kids in our country, you know, to showcase what they can do, and hopefully provide an opportunity for them to get to, you know, hopefully one day it's, you know, running around the MCG playing AFL. So if we can make it a little bit easier for them along the way, then that's our job. We see in our game AFL so much the skill that they
showcase, and you know, it's been evident up here with the 3 communities we've been to so far that starts at a really young age. You know, we've seen some 3, 4, 5-year-old kids that have, you know, skills that you see of maybe a 10 or a 12-year-old back home in Melbourne.
We've constantly said to each other when we've run clinics that if this kid here was in Melbourne and he was playing down at your local footy club, you would 100% guarantee that he would get drafted. Whether or not those kids go on to play footy, we're not too sure.
I guess the Bombers, you know, they've got their academies up here and they probably target that 15 to 17-year-old. The good thing about our program is, you know, we're trying to get into that grassroots and, you know, really targeting from a younger age and trying to get him involved and active, you know, from 2 to 5 and then obviously a little bit older as well. So, you know, it's a complete different way of life that these kids live. Part of this week being up here, we've had the opportunity to train the TIWI Bombers and the Imaloo Tigers, which has been a really fantastic experience. I think one of the biggest things at the moment in the AFL, I think there's 13 listed Indigenous players from 27 a few years ago. So from that point of view, there's a lot of talent going around, and especially in the TIWI Bombers, we train them on Tuesday night, and some of the guys running around there, we need to showcase their talent and get them out there as much as possible, because I think some of these guys up here, you know, we've seen at least 5 or 6 players that could potentially be running around on the AFL list. So for us to get up here and you know, try and showcase them and put a pathway in place for them to you know, make it to the AFL or potentially you know, get looked at by recruiters or something like that, I think that's a big part of it as well. So, as I said, some of the talent up here has been amazing, and especially with the TIWI Bombers, those boys down there, they've, you know, 2 or 3 of those blokes, they wouldn't look out of place running around on Essendon list, I wouldn't think.
My name's Kyle, and I play footy.
For these kids to have something that they look forward to, whether it be sport, whether it be football, whether it be education, that's really what they need in their lives. And I think what's stood out to me over the last week is our program that we've set up here. These kids, it doesn't matter what they're doing, as long as they've got some structure in place, it's something that they, you know, they really thrive on, I think. And it's not just the football side of things. I think it's the motor skills that that get you ready for school as well, for these younger kids that, you know, they might not necessarily had, they might not have had it in their day-to-day before living. So if we can set that up for them and it gets them ahead in their schooling, education and life and that kind of thing, I think that's a real positive. And you know, some of these kids, they, as much as they love kicking a goal, as much as it's footy, it's more about education as well, and that structure and that pathway for the kids.
Future plans for the Next Gen program in TIWI, we've gone to each community with a heap of equipment and programs for them to run. So back in Melbourne, every 2 weeks we change the program so that there's variety and things for the kids to enjoy and learn, but also it doesn't get stale. So we've brought all the equipment and programs up here, and we've showed the locals who run the rec centres and manage those parts of the community what they need to do, and they've got all the equipment here just like they would down at our clinics in Melbourne and rural Victoria. So we'll definitely try and be back up here next year. We've already been in talks with the local councils and governments. It's all about trust, and in the community up here, they don't want to see people just come and go, and they want you to keep coming back, and the more you come back and the more trust you build, the better it is for them, and we've absolutely loved getting to know them all, and I definitely want to come back next year at the end of the footy season and keep growing the program and keep getting to know the people. If at any stage in your life you are looking for something to do and you feel like you're sick of, you know, going to Bali or going to America or Europe, and you want to come up with your family and give your kids a different experience and get them to really go back to the grassroots of not only football, but, you know, before the settlers got here and what it was like for Indigenous people to live back then, this is as close as you'll get on the island here. I know that when my kids are a little bit older, I'll definitely be bringing them back up here to show them what it's like out here and I'll be showing them on the TV screens when the Riolis or the Longs are out there kicking the footy that this is where they come from, and this is where they are now. And it's pretty amazing when you think of it like that, where these players have come from and where they are now and what they've achieved. Because, yeah, as I said, the infrastructure, the facilities, the opportunities, they're just not there as much as what they are back in town and on the mainland. So, yeah, I strongly urge you to come up here and experience it, because there's a lot of good people in these communities, and there's a lot of good happening out here as well, and there's also a lot of fun to be had, you know, with some fishing, hunting, and different sorts of experiences like that. So come up to the island and have a look around.
Just the experience for the week that we've had up here, it's been an amazing experience, something that I wasn't too sure about when I was coming up here, what it was going to be like for us, but the community's been unbelievably welcoming to us, and you know, there's many football fans, and you know, some of them don't even know who we are, some of them don't know we play football at all, but you know, they're happy and they've got a smile on their face, and everyone waves when they drive past and that kind of thing. So, you know, coming from Melbourne, the hustle and bustle of Melbourne, I think you can get caught up in that lifestyle a little bit. So to come up to the islands, it's actually been really refreshing, and you know, an experience that I'll never forget. So I'm very thankful for being able to be a part of it.
Is that?
We're going to do footy today. You want to play footy?
Yes! Thank you. I want a medal. Bye-bye. Bye.